Yeah, ẹ káàárọ̀, ẹ káàsán, ẹ káalẹ́ níbikíbi tí a bá ti láǹfààní láti bá fídíò mi pàdé. Èmi náà ni yèyé Princess Ajébùkúnmi Ológunmọ̀mídé. Mo kí wa nílé lóko. Mo dẹ̀ ní ogbó àtọ́ fún gbogbo babaláwo, gbogbo onífá. Mo ní èèpà òrìṣà fún àwa olórìṣà, àbòrò, àbọ̀yè. Bí ìjẹta kọ́ ni, I think it was ìjẹta. While scrolling on the streets of TikTok, mo come across àwọn videos tí àwọn obìnrin tí wọ́n ń fa ara wọn, like wọ́n fa ara wọn lọ́tùn, wọ́n fa ara wọn lósì, nípa being a water priestess and your sexuality as regards to you being a water priestess, like you being a water priestess or a priest, a water priest, right? Be it Olokun, Oshun, Yemoja, Aji, any water deity, right, that you're serving as their priest or their priestess. Mo pàdé fídíò yẹn tí àwọn obìnrin yẹn tí wọ́n fara wọn lọ́tọ̀ tí wọ́n fara wọn tó rẹ́ pé lójú mi wọ́n yẹ̀yẹ́ ara wọn. Yes, that is how I see it, because I am of the opinion that tí ìwọ bá rò pé èèyàn ṣe nǹkan tí ò dá, nǹkan tí ò tó, nǹkan tí ò bójú bọ̀rọ̀, my own opinion is that calling that person out on social media isn't the solution to that thing. Tí ìwọ bá rò pé ọmọlàkejì ń ṣe nǹkan tí ò dá, nǹkan tó máa dàbí nǹkan ìtìjú, the best thing is to private chat the person, to talk to the person privately. If you can get their contact, you do. If you can't, you can slide into their DM on TikTok here and then talk to the person, and then if you think you have one or two advice to give to that person, you go ahead and do that rather than calling out the person. But that is that. Now, so ẹnìkan wá bèèrè lọ́wọ́ mi pé nínú ọ̀rọ̀ tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ yìí tí àwọn obìnrin water priestess, especially of the eastern part of Nigeria, mi ò fẹ́ máa dárúkọ ní bíbá yẹn. So ẹnìkan wá bèèrè lọ́wọ́ mi pé yèyé, kí lẹ̀yin rò as regards to nǹkan tí àwọn people yìí tí wọ́n ń ṣe tí wọ́n fara wọn lórí social media space. Now, this is my own piece, my own 2 piece on that thing. Number 1, mo fẹ́ kó yé wa, mo máa fẹ́ ká mọ̀ rather ni pé spirituality and traditional practice are not the same. They are 2 different things, yes. Spirituality and traditional practice, they are not the same. They are 2 different things. Now, if you call yourself a traditionalist, that is, if you as a person, you call yourself a traditionalist, that means that the culture's tradition that you're following to practice as a water priestess, like myself, for instance, now, right, I am an Olokun priestess. Now, I am practicing my ways of worship of Olokun, my ways of appeasements, my ways of sacrifice. I'm doing it in 2 ways. 1, in the Yoruba tradition. 2, in my own tradition, which is the Bini tradition, right? So I am doing my work as an Olokun priestess using 2 traditions joined together. 1 is the Yoruba tradition. 2 is my own tradition, which is the Bini tradition. Now, as a traditionalist, right, that I am serving Olokun in the traditional way, there are some do's and don'ts in that tradition that I must strictly follow and adhere to. That is, as a traditionalist, right? There are some do's and don'ts of that tradition that I am following that I must. It is not an option. They are not asking me, do you want to? No, I must strictly. When I say I mean strictly adhere to. Now, in our African customs or traditions, a lot of things are forbidden and frowned at. They have been forbidden right from the days of our forefathers, our ancestors, and they are still forbidden till today. Right? Now, we know that customs and traditions varies. Some things that are forbidden in Yoruba culture might not be forbidden in the Igbo culture. Some things that are accepted in Edo culture might not be accepted in the Igbo culture. Some things that are accepted in the Igbo culture might be forbidden in the Edo culture or in the Yoruba culture. So that is why I said, if you are serving as a water priest or as a water priestess using tradition, you must know that particular culture's tradition that you are serving as a priestess or as a priest. You must know the do's and don'ts of that tradition and adhere to it. Now, on the second hand, if you are a spiritualist, now, I would like for us to know that there's a difference between being a spiritualist and being a traditionalist. Now, a traditionalist is someone that serves their deities, their orishas, right? Their ancestors. That is, I will call them their forefathers, their foreigners that have walked this face of the earth before them. Now, you're serving humanity through them, using the customs and the traditions of your people. That is, if you're doing it in your own cultural way. Like I said myself, I am using a combination of both the Yoruba and the Benin tradition, right? The Yoruba and the Benin way of doing olokun. That is what I am doing, because I am Benin by birth, but I am Yoruba by marriage, right? Now, so as I say, you must know the custom or the traditions or the ways of life of the particular culture that you're using in serving that water deity. That way it will be easy for you to serve that deity. Now, there are some things that are frowned upon in tradition that spirituality does not frown upon it. Like in tradition, in some tribes, women are not allowed to break kola nuts. In some tribes in Nigeria here, women aren't allowed to break kola nuts. In some tribes, women break kola nuts. It doesn't mean anything. But in spirituality, the spirituality does not acknowledge all that. Spirituality has nothing to do with custom and tradition. So there are some things that in spirituality, you can do it and get away with it. Nobody questions you. You are not answerable to anybody, because the truth is spirituality is an individual thing, but tradition is not an individual thing, because it is our tradition. Now, we have people that have been doing this tradition before you. That so when you come and then you do some things that are against or absurd to that tradition, you will be called out. You will be queried. That is why in tradition, sexuality is known to be between man and woman. That is tradition. Sexuality, that is sexual relationship, should be between man and woman. It should be between male and female. That is tradition. Now, anything outside that, tradition does not recognize, neither does it accept it in any tradition in Africa. I don't mean about the Western world, the white man's world. No, I mean in Africa here. I don't think there's any African tradition that permits same genders having sexual relationship. When I mean same gender, I mean same gender male or same gender female having sexual or intimate relationship. It is frowned upon. So if you are a traditionalist, hear me, if you are a traditionalist, you will be asked questions if you are doing the other. Tradition only acknowledges one man and a woman being intimate. But if you're into spirituality, spirituality does not really look into it. Now,